Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Real Life Excel. Hope you're having a good day. Previous video I wanted to make a quick video about not buying a car. I thought about buying a car for a while and then I was like, maybe now's not the good time, and I wanted to make a quick video about it. Super quick. This only really applies to the States, so I mean it could impact other countries too. Hopefully it doesn't impact you guys wherever you are, or fellow Americans. But anyways, I wanted to create another tutorial video. If you haven't checked the other videos of, if you've never used Excel before, please check those out because they can be pretty helpful. I'm going through some other intermediate examples. I want to do some logical tests, and I've done these before in other videos, but here's just like another quick set of examples that we can go through. And these are the more common ones that I've used previously when working on Excel and doing projects on Excel. So first one we have is the if function. And so here we have two numbers, 100 and 1000. And here we can see a true and false statement that I created. So let's get to it. So if I type in equal signs, our most powerful tool, type in if, here we see our first one, and it checks whatever a condition is met, and then it will return a value when it's true, and we can decide which value we want it, or it will return a value when it's false, and we can also pick that false value. So here we have our three sets of data points that we need to put in. So our first one is our logical test. So this is the one where we want it to analyze a cell and say, hey, is this happening? What is happening? Is this true or is it false? Basically, are we trying to get a true or a false statement? So right now, if I select this cell, so I want you to analyze cell B4, and let's say I want it to be greater than, so we'll type in that greater than sign, 100. Well, right now, 100 isn't greater than 100. I could do, I believe this is the correct way, equals 100, or it might have to be the other way around. Either way, it has to have this equal sign, and we can just try this out right now. And then for the true value, I can just type in true. We'll make sure we add those apostrophes right there. We can also do a number, so I could do 1 as like 1, like positive 1, and then false 0, or I could type in false, and then a closing parentheses. We'll just add 1 with a number and 1 with a text. And here we have 1. So right now it's saying that this statement is true right now, because 100 is greater than or equal to 100. Therefore, the statement is true. Now let's just say I want to change the statement to just greater than. So we're removing the equal to or greater than and just keeping greater than. Type that in, and now we'll get our false statement. We can just copy that over for the $1,000, or I guess the 1,000 amount. We can just change that to true. And here we have our true statement. So basically it's analyzing a cell or data within a cell and returning either a true statement or false statement depending on what you want it to be. Moving down to the AND statement, or the AND functionality. Here I have two sets of data points, so 100 and electronics, and then 1000 and furniture. And you can kind of guess that we'll be doing a logical test on two sets of data points. So if I type in equals and right now it wants to check both, either one or more logical arguments, and see if they're true. So we can have 1, 2, 3, or infinite amount of logical arguments and see if all of them are true. If all of them are true, then we will get a true statement back. If any one of those are false, then we will get a false statement back. Basically, all the conditions must be met. And I believe, yep, it says right here, checks whether all arguments are true and returns true if all arguments are true. So we'll do that. And I believe we did the same thing, so greater than 100. So I'm selecting the cell, and I want to see if it's greater than 100. Right now it's false. And then I can also select C18 for electronics. So right now Excel knows this is a text. So I'll do equals. So I want this to be furniture, for example. I'm looking specifically for furniture. I don't want to look at electronics. I want my true statement to be furniture. So we'll do closing statement. And here we have our two logistical tests. And we can see it's returning false. So basically Excel's saying, hey, based on the criteria that you put into the cell, these two or one of the two are false. Therefore, this statement is false. So we'll type in the other one. We'll do 1000 greater than 100. Therefore, it's true. Here's our text logistical test. So we'll select that cell equals furniture. And here format is very important. Grammar is very important. So it has to be exactly the same format and spelling as the cell that you want to look at. Do closing parentheses. Here we have true. Therefore, Excel is analyzing these two cells and saying both of these items are true based on the criteria we put in. Perfect. Now we're moving down to the OR statement. So it's kind of like the AND, where you can analyze multiple logistical tests, except this one's a little bit broader. Basically, we can have multiple tests fail or have a false statement, but if one of them are true, then the statement is true. So as long as one of them is true, it will return a true statement. So here we have our OR. Here's a little, I guess, snippet telling us what it does. And it checks whether any arguments are true and returns true or false. Returns false only if all arguments are false. So a little bit more flexible on returning a true statement. I guess I should do equal sign. Here we have our logical test. So here we have greater than 100, closing parentheses, and I'm doing the same test, by the way, as you can kind of follow along. Furniture, closing parentheses, or closing apostrophes and then parentheses. Here we have our false statement, since both of them are false. Here is basically the same as the above, except I changed this to 100. And I can just copy down this formula right here, and here we have a true statement. So the first statement, the first logistical test saying, is this greater than 100, is failing. But since our second logistical test is true, therefore this statement will return a true value, which is pretty nifty. So if you're looking at data, multiple data points, and you're saying, hey, if any of these show a true statement or are positive or whatever the criteria you want it to be, I want it to return that value. Therefore, I can analyze it. So it broadens the scope of what data you want to be looking at. Okay, lastly, the if statement. So this one is kind of like the if, but this one allows you to do multiple logistical tests within a cell. So here I have, again, the two examples. Here I typed in ifs this cell is greater than 100, return this true value. Ifs this value is furniture, then return the text furniture. So right now, since both of these are false, it's getting an A. But if I change this to, if I change the text to furniture, then this will return furniture, since the first test failed. But then going on to the second test is now recognizing that this is furniture, therefore it will return furniture. Or I can return a number, 100. There we go. Here, this one is true, both of them are true, but in the if statement, it's only looking at the first logistical test and returning the first one that is true. So if the first test is true, then it will just return that first true value. So as you can see, since this cell is greater than 100, it's 1000, therefore it's going to return the text over. But also, furniture is in here, which we also want it to be furniture. So why isn't it returning furniture? Well, it's because the logistical test, the first logistical test is the one if it's greater than over 100. So therefore it's only returning this value. So hopefully this helped you guys. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and have a good one.